So next topic is wireless LAN. So wireless LAN is IEEE 802.11. Okay. So this wireless LAN covers physical layer and data link layer. So next we are going to see the architecture. This 802.11 defines two kinds of services. One is basic service set and another one extended service set. This basic service set is a basic building block of wireless LAN. So this basic service set is the basic building block of wireless LAN, and this basic service set is made up of stationary or mobile station and with one additional centralized base station called access point. So in a basic service set, what are the things we'll be having? We'll be having either mobile stations or stationary station. Apart from these two, there will be a centralized base station called access point. Now, the basic service set without an AP is called, AP is nothing but access point, is called standalone network, and they cannot send data from one basic service set to another basic service set. And this architecture is called ad hoc architecture. A basic service set without access point is called what? Ad hoc architecture. In this architecture, the station can form a network without the need of an access point, and they can locate one another and agree to be a part of basic service set. A basic service set with an access point is called as infrastructure network. Mainly there are two types of network. One is standalone network and infrastructure network. Standalone network is without AP and infrastructure network is with AP. So this is basic service set without AP. So it is called as ad hoc network, and this is basic service set with access point. It is called infrastructure network. So extended service set, two or more basic service set, it will combine to form extended service set. But the basic service set must contain access point. So this basic services sets are connected through a distribution system, and which will be mainly wired LAN. So extended service set uses two type of stations. The two type of station is, one is stationary station, another one mobile station. Mobile stations are nothing but the station that are normal station inside a basic service set, and the stationary stations are nothing but the access point in a wired LAN. Okay. The stationary stations are nothing but the access point in the wired LAN. Next one, this is the extended service set. So here, two or more basic service set, they combine to form an extended service set, and they are connected through a distribution system. And this distribution system is connected to the server or gateway. Now, station types. There are three types of stations. Depending upon their mobility, we are having three types of station, that is no transition, next one BSS transition, and ESS transition. First one, no transition. No transition means the station may be either stationary or it will move only inside a basic service station. The second one is BSS transition. The station with the BSS transition mobility can move from one basic service set to another basic service set. So, but the movement is confined within one extended service set. Next one, extended service set transition. A station with the extended service set transition mobility can move from one extended service set to another. So next we are going to see the MAC sublayer. So here 802.11 defines two sublayer. MAC means medium access control sublayer. What is MAC sublayer? MAC is nothing but medium access control sublayer. So it is defining two sublayers. That is, one is distributed coordination function sublayer, that is DCF sublayer, and another one is point coordinate function sublayer. What are the two sublayers you are having? that is distributed coordinated function sublayer and point coordinated function sublayer. First one, distributed coordinated function. So one of the two protocol defined by the IEEE at the MAC layer is distributed coordinate function and point coordinate function. So this distributed coordinate function use carrier sense multiple access collision detection as the access method. So whenever there is more than one devices connected to a link, then some access mechanism is needed, and the type of access mechanism what we are using in this distributed coordinate function is carrier sense multiple access collision avoidance. Next one is point coordination function. The point coordinate function is an optional access method that can be implemented in the infrastructure network. Okay, and it can't be implemented in an ADA network. So it is implemented on the top of distributed coordination function and is used for time sensitive transmission. So this point coordination function is used for time sensitive transmission. So this point coordinate function has a centralized contention free pooling access method. So it is having a centralized pooling method. So the access point performs pooling for stations that are capable of being pooled. The stations are pooled one after other, sending any data they have to the AP. Next, this is the flow diagram of carrier sense multiple access collision avoidance. First, before sending a frame, first the source station sends the medium by checking the energy level at the carrier frequency. So before sending the frame, what the source station will do, the source station will sense the medium by checking the energy level at the carrier frequency. So the channel uses a persistent strategy with back off until the channel is idle. So what this channel uses? The channel uses a persistent strategy with the back off until the channel is idle. After the station is found to be idle, the station waits for a period of time called distributed interframe space. Then the station sends a control frame called request to send. After receiving the request to send, a waiting period of time called short interframe space, the destination station sends a control frame called clear to send to the source station. This control frame indicates that the destination station is ready to receive data. The source station sends data after waiting an amount of time equal to the SIFS. The source station sends data after waiting an amount of time equal to SIFS. So what is SIFS? SIFS is nothing but short interframe space. So the destination station after waiting an amount of time equal to short interframe space sends an acknowledgement to show that the frame has been received. Acknowledgement is needed in the protocol because the station does not have any means to check for the successful arrival of its data at the destination. So the lack of collision in carrier sense multiple access collision detection is a kind of indication that the source that data has arrived. So this is a frame format of this MAC frame format. Okay. So first one, the version will indicate the type of version, and the type field will indicate whether it is a management byte or control byte or data byte. And subtype is nothing but request to send, clear to send, acknowledgement. So this is to destination and this is from destination. And this is additional flag. This is a retry and this is power management. This bit is for it is set when you are having more data. This is reserved.